So for scientific notation, the purpose of scientific notation is to take very large numbers or very small numbers and make them more manageable, to get rid of all of those zeros that you would need for a very large or a very small number and make it into a number that is between 1 and 10. Now that number which we create, that is called your coefficient, and you're going to multiply that by a certain power of 10. So let's look at how exactly you do that with an example. Here I have 4,300. Notice there's a decimal place after the 4,300, and that's to take care of significant figures, which is a concept that we'll cover very shortly. That just means that I'm going to include the zeros in my answer. So to write this number in scientific notation, remember the number has to be between 1 and 10. So it has to have only the ones place, no tens place. So how many places must you move this decimal? Well, I have to move it over 1, 2, 3 times to make it 4.300. So that's 3 places. Now the coefficient will be 4.300. That's a number that's between 1 and 10. It has to be raised to a power of 3. And therefore, the value in scientific notation will be 4.300 times 10 to the third. Now, the reason why it's a positive 3 and not a negative 3 is because I took a large number, 4,000, and made it into a smaller number. So to make up for that fact, I've got to multiply it by 1,000, which is 10 to the third. 4,300 and 4.300 times 10 to the third, they are the same number, just in different notations. Standard notation is the 4,300, while 4.300 times 10 to the third is in scientific notation. Now, in order to convert from scientific notation back to standard notation, since a positive exponent makes the number larger, we need to move the decimal to the right when we're putting it into standard notation. In contrast, if you have a negative exponent, that makes the numbers smaller, and therefore we're going to move the decimal to the left. So if you look at this example here, I have 7 times 10 to the second. Since that exponent is positive, that means I'm going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. And since the decimal is behind the 7, that makes it 700 because I moved that decimal over 2 places and then filled in zeros for those spots. Now, if instead if it were 7 times 10 to the negative second, I would move the decimal place to the left. And since it would be 2 places to the left, it would be 0.07. Okay? And so that's how you convert from scientific notation to standard notation and standard notation back to scientific notation.